Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. It's rumoured that Queensbury are in talks with DAZN regarding their international content. Now, Queensbury currently have a deal with Top Rank ESPN for the American market and for possibly other areas as well. I'm not too sure about that one. But they are in talks now, Queensbury, with DAZN for DAZN to show their international content. Okay, this is a strange development because, as we know, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom are with DAZN. It could be that Warren wants to sort of put Top Rank and DAZN on notice regarding the international content as to whether they want to renew it. If so, it's going to cost you because we could go somewhere else. But I actually don't think Top Rank will be that keen to carry on, with the Fury deal. I mean, Fury is no spring chicken now, and he hasn't looked great in his last few fights, and he's a difficult man to deal with, and so on and so forth. So I'm not too sure Top Rank will be that keen to renew any kind of deal with Queensbury. Now, it's also possible would TNT Sports be interested in funding Warren and Queensbury's sort of abroad little journeys, to try and put shows on abroad, to deal with the international scene as well as the domestic scene? I'm not convinced by that either. So I think there's a fair chance we could see some sort of deal cut with Queensbury and Warren, which again would put him in the same sort of area, even though the TNT domestic scene, the TNT boxing domestic scene would carry on with Queensbury. It would, in terms of international fights, put Queensbury with, Queensbury and Matchroom as, shall we say, boxing neighbours. And what that would mean is that the relationship, which has blossomed under the excellent turkey between Hearn and Warren, could, in theory, continue. It could be a case of Warren and Hearn carrying on beyond this 5 versus 5 thing that's going to happen on July the 1st to the point where they start doing domestic shows together. Well, if it's an international deal, yes, it would have to be maybe not domestic shows. Let's scratch that. But they would carry on putting their domestic fighters together, perhaps in different areas. Now, that could be, I don't know, Mexico, the United States, who knows, just carry on putting them on in Saudi. You don't know, do you? And you might say, well, would a domestic rivalry sell in Mexico? Probably not. But who's to say that Warren won't think, you know what, I think I'll sign some Mexican fighters because Hearn's got a few, he's got a few, and a few American fighters, and why not a few Australians as well? Let's get a few more sweets in the bag, and then I'll match them up with Hearn's lot, and we'll continue this little rivalry under the same platform, under the same promotional, not the promotional umbrella, but under the same broadcasting umbrella. That, I think, is possible, So, yeah, you could end up with, I don't know, Maurizio Lara fighting whoever signs with Warren, or, Sky Nicholson fighting. Has Warren got any female fighters? Probably not, but he'll sign an Australian. He might sign Ebony Bridges. They're not too far different in weight. Ebony Bridges versus Sky Nicholson, or I don't know, Lee Wood against. I don't know. Well, Lee Wood's British, isn't he? Let's choose a foreigner. How about Ray Ford? Let's say Ray Ford moves up to super feather, because Lee Wood has as well, and fights. I don't know. One of a Mexican signing by Warren. I don't know who that might be, but this is an interesting development. I think I'll keep my eye on this one because I like the idea of this continuing relationship with Warren and Hearn. I think it's very, very intriguing. And of course, it was first proposed many years ago by Warren, But at the time, Warren he wasn't really doing any great shakes. He wasn't making a lot of money. He didn't. I don't think he had the TNT deal. He just come off the back of Box Nation. He did have a little bit of a domestic stable, but Hearn was flying with Sky, and he was like, nah, I'd be doing him a favour. Warren's always saying, "Do me a favour." And, Eddie Hearn was probably thinking, "I'm not going to do you a favour. I'm not going to, pull you up to my level. You're down there, mate." Well, now, of course, certainly domestically, there's a little bit more parity. Even internationally, because Warren does have Fury and a couple of others, but but I think under the same broadcasting platform, I think the relationship could continue, and I think that would be a very, very good thing, not just for domestic level fighters, but for boxing in general, and for for international shows, for for Britain. It's British boxing with its two biggest promoters putting on international shows in other countries. That's something that means something. That's meaningful. So I don't know. What do you think? As usual, put your comments below. I'll read them. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that like button, and I'll speak to you again sometime soon. Take care. Bye for now.